Today's show is brought to you by Manscaped. You know the leaders in below the waistline grooming, right? You know them. You know that crew.
Yeah.
Well, Deke, I was thinking to myself, we are in the heart of the summer. We know that football season is here, and ball security, more importantly, is at a premium right now. All right. During this time of year, man, you got to protect your balls. And the best way to do that is with Manscaped. More importantly, the Lawnmower 4.0, the waterproof one with that little light that turns on and off. You know the one we talk about, Deke. I mean, it's things like that, baby. When you talk about going low and slow to make that tree trunk show a little bit more, baby, this is what you need, all right? So don't waste time. You want to check them out. They're here for you. But more importantly, Deke, as we always say, we don't talk about anybody unless we got a promo code.
Yeah.
And that promo code, ladies and gentlemen, is MOATS. You use that, you will get 20% off of your purchase along with free shipping worldwide at manscaped.com. So stop wasting time, man. Make sure you take care of your delicate twins. And I can assure you that anybody that is, privileged enough to interact with them, they'll appreciate you as well. The first preseason game coming up on Saturday. We will do our official game preview on Wednesday.
Top 3 guys to watch for.
Absolutely. We'll do
maybe
all of that
5
on Wednesday, without a doubt. But today, just wanted to hit the front end of this thing, man, as we prepare for the game on Saturday. And just wanted to say, man, who do we think should play and who do we think should sit in this opener against Seattle, man?
Okay. How are we doing this? Who should sit?
Yeah, just name some names and I'll see if I agree, because I have some names on my list. But if we got the same names, then it's all good.
Okay, I'm conflicted about the receivers. Mm-hmm. I actually wouldn't mind for all of them to sit. Pickens, I've seen enough. He could sit the rest of the training camp and preseason. He's good. Claypool, too. I mean, a little banged up and stuff. Deontay, he's like our wide receiver one, most for sure guy, Pro Bowler last year. I wouldn't mind all of them sitting. At the same time, I would like to see Mitch actually play with those guys. Mm-hmm. So I'd say probably just keep them in. Mm-hmm. Najee Harris, sit his ass.
Yeah, we'll start offense first. Yeah, stick on the offense, and I'll react to my offense as
Najee, well. He could sit. Freiermuth, I would like him to sit, but it's the same sentiment with the receivers. What does he look like with Mitch? Man, that's tough. So how many do I only have Najee like as an official guy?
Okay.
And then, offensive line, everyone could play.
So for me on offense, I'm sitting Najee Harris, I'm sitting Pat Freiermuth, and I'm sitting Deontay Johnson. I'm going to see what Chase Claypool's shoulder feels like. If I don't like what that is, I'm sitting him. Everyone else, though, I'm playing. I want George out there. George needs to play in the NFL. How is he going to be ready to play in the NFL without playing in the NFL?
It was a joke.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I want my man's out there. Believe that.
It was a joke. But
no, it's all good. I ain't tripping. But, I think of him, and I'm like, with some of the offensive linemen, I thought Chooks maybe. Because obviously he's been starting here now for 2 years consistently. We obviously gave him the big bag this all season. So he was probably the only offensive lineman I would sit. Him, James Daniels. But once again, I need to see what it looks like. I would like to see the improvement. Yeah, and that's the other reason why, even though those two guys to me, money-wise, make sense to sit them out, I feel like I need to see it in a game all together, at least for a series. It doesn't have to be crazy long, but at least for a series, and then go from there, man. Because practice, like I said, is one thing, but you don't have that continuity. It's not the same as in the past when it was Marquise Pouncey, David DeCastro, Ramon Foster, Marcus Gilbert, Al Villanueva, or Kelvin Beachum. Man, them dudes are starting together for years. So you didn't have to play them in the preseason. You didn't need to see a ton of this to know what you were getting, to know how they work together. James Daniels hasn't blocked next to Mason Cole and Chooks Okorafor with Kevin Dotson or Kendrick Green along with Dan Moore. Like, we haven't seen that just yet. So that's the part where I'm like, I do feel like I want to see them out there. But the receivers, Deontay, man, you chilling. You are getting airmailed to the season. Chase Claypool.
Oh, you don't want him to play one game?
Nah, I'm good on that.
Really?
Absolutely. Because to me, he's more valuable in season. Him getting hurt in any way, shape, or form kills what I'm trying to accomplish this season.
Even with the quarterback competition. Do you get what I'm saying,
they
though?
Can get it
in terms of just seeing who looks like what with the actual first team.
They can get it in practice. Those quarterbacks, to me, I can lose one of them, and I'm still okay with the other two. I can't lose a Deontay Johnson right now. That's just the reality of it. We don't have another Deontay right now. We're hoping that George can develop into a true wide receiver one, but he still doesn't do what Deontay has done. for multiple seasons. Chase hasn't done that. Calvin hasn't done that. We don't have a receiver that can do what he does right now. So that's the biggest reason for why, for me, I just think that he is too valuable to even entertain him being out there. That's why I would sit him. And like I said, with Chase, it's just depending on the shoulder. If he was healthy all camp, I'm playing him this week. I'm playing him at least in one of these games. You know what I mean? 1.5. Not a crazy amount, but I want him to get some reps. But outside of that, it's like, man, the rest of these, like, I need to see y'all. I need to get
Freiermuth, based off injury as well.
That's the whole reason, because he was hurt. Yep, and it's a hamstring on top of that. If it wasn't a hamstring, if it was like just a bone bruise or a bump, like, that's different. But with the hammy, it's soft tissue. That's something that unfortunately he will deal with the rest of this season if he doesn't allow it to fully heal. And when you're on that clock of week 1, you don't really allow it to fully heal because you're testing it. You're like, yo, I got to get back. And the whole thing with the hammy, you're like, don't test it. Keep chilling. But how do you know where it's at if you don't test it? So that's why for me, I'm like with Pat.
And you just want reps.
Right. I don't want Pat to even entertain that, and let alone put him in a game where now you're not thinking about protecting that dog and you shows up, and now you're maxing out doing something that you shouldn't be doing in a game that, in the grand scheme of things, is meaningless for Pat Freiermuth and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the thought process with it, man. Defense. What you got on defense? Yeah. How you feeling on defense, baby?
Cam, Alualu, Ogunjo. Hey, a whole defensive line I don't need to see out there. TJ Watt, no.
Sit all of them.
I'd like to see Miles Jack.
Okay.
Minka, for sure. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, Miles Jack, I mean, he's been in the league for 4 or 5 years, and has been pretty damn good success, I'd say.
I would agree.
I just want to see him in the Steelers defense, him move around out there a little bit. See him with either Devin Bush or Robert Spillane too. Now, I don't know if that has to be particularly this game. Could it be the second or third game? But this wouldn't be a bad start.
Fair enough.
That's really it for me.
Okay.
I mean, because the cornerbacks.
So you want to see all of them, right?
Yeah, that's all depending on injury. Like, if any of these dudes aren't good, it goes back to what you were saying. Like, don't be out there. Don't be trying to push it. If you're any of the starters, I'd rather you not do that. But if everyone's good, I think everyone outside of Minka, whole defensive line starters, and TJ Watt.
Okay.
I could see sitting high. Oh, he's hurt now, so I mean, he doesn't need to be out there.
So for me, Cam, TJ, Minka, 100%. I'm sitting them out. They're not playing. Levi, if he was healthy, I would have set him. Right, but he hasn't been. So it's like, I don't like. If he gets healthy enough for this game, I need to see him. I need to see some of those reps, man. He's in a competition. Edmonds, I definitely need to see him, even though I don't need to see a lot of him. I just need to see just a series.
Just be out there.
Just a series or two. That's it. Tyson is the weird one for me, though. I don't want to play him, but because he's missed essentially a whole season, I do want him to get some reps.
And he's just getting back.
Right. So that's the thing.
If his practice goes well this week, then I think you're right.
Yeah, so the way I feel about Tyson is very similar to how I feel about Larry. Excuse me, with Larry, same concept. It's like, I know who you are when you're healthy, but at the same time, you're coming back from injury. But you're new here, so I'm like, I do want to see it, but I don't want to see it at the expense of your recovery. Exactly. I don't want to see it if it's going to cost you week 1 or week 2. And that's that whole dilemma that I'm in. I would much rather play Chris Wormley and Montravius Adams and start DeMarvin Leal for, every preseason game if that means we're going to have Larry Ogunjobi and Tyson Alualu available to us for the whole season.
Put some pressure on that inside linebacker competition too.
Absolutely. All my inside guys, I want to see them. Miles is probably the only one that I would sit, but because he's new here, I do want him to just get that experience, man, of in stadium, how we communicate and what that feel is, because like I said, everywhere we do it, every team does it differently, and he don't need a lot of it, but just give him some of it. Yeah, but other than that though, man, these dudes is playing. Cam Sutton, I'm sitting him. I don't need to see him.
Really?
Yeah, unless the competition is for him to legitimately be at outside. If it is, well, then he has to go. He got to play because you're really in a dogfight. I know the money says 4 or 5, but we all feel, and based on the tape, that he is a better slot corner, that he's just more natural there. So granted, I feel like I'm kind of hedging my bet that he's going to get bumped inside. But if I know that I'm going to end up bumping him inside anyways, I don't need to see Cam Sutton out there doing a preseason game. We know he can play on the outside. I know he can bump inside.
Maybe don't want to reveal too much too.
Corner too. Yeah, well, that too, absolutely.
Keep Cincy on their toes for week 1.
Yeah, so he'll be the other one that I'll probably sit out there, man.
All right, so Yeah, over half the players we're talking about starting, both offense, defense.
Boss kicking?
He did last year for us, right? Just not the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
yet.
sometimes like we'll because we signed a dude at the beginning for the Hall of Fame, and then Boz came in like right the week after that or 2 weeks after that. Yeah,
that's fine. Yeah, Boss can play.
Yeah,
Harvin, he definitely needs to play.
Nah, he got to, man. But Harvin wants to play, man. Certain players, you look forward to these opportunities because this is your chance to rewrite the narrative. And if you're Devin Bush, you should be excited about preseason. This is your chance to rewrite that narrative. If you're Robert Spillane, you're excited about the preseason. This is your chance to, on equal playing field, show that, hey, I'm a better player than Devin Bush. This, like, certain players, preseason does matter a little bit more. It should be more exciting to them. We talk about those quarterbacks. This preseason, all three of them dudes chomping at the bit. I'm sure Mason can't wait because he's tired of all the excuses, right? He wants to say, hey, I'm doing it on Sundays now, or I'm doing it in stadium now. So you can't just say it's practice. You can't just say it's the familiarity, So there's certain things, man, that it's going to make this preseason very exciting, though, man.
Excited to see Gunner maybe in the return role. They got him as the first guy.
I definitely want to see that.
Clearly, they should.
I want to see him as a return. I want to see Calvin returning that thing as well, man. Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and like I said, man, when we come back on Wednesday, man, we'll obviously talk more about the game itself, breaking it down, who we're looking for, seeing more importantly and stuff like that. But, just wanted to give him a quick little, who we sit, who we start.
100%.
Yeah.